Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, amazing edition of Parney's Pitch Around. It's not only hot in Virginia right now, folks, but it is hot in the Anthony Opperman press box because apparently the air conditioning is not working. So I am sweating like I did something wrong, but it's going to be a wonderful night. Nick, make sure you're close to the button. And you know what button I mean? The button that doesn't get us kicked off the air. Our first guest tonight is going to be Ross Grimsley coming up here in a little bit. And then we're really excited. We're excited about Grims, but we're really excited about talking to Derek Sugar Babe Hobson, who literally played for the Titans, the T.C. Williams Titans. So not often do you get to talk to a living legend like Ross Grimsley, and then talk to somebody who actually had a movie made about his high school football career. So it's going to be an exciting night, but before we go to commercial break and get to Grims, want to remind you, there's no baseball this season, obviously, here in Richmond, but movies in the outfield tomorrow night. Movies in the outfield tomorrow night. Make sure you get your, it's just my phone. Make sure you get your tickets, pre-register your tickets, pre-register your food. Tomorrow night, 7:35, Talladega Nights, that cinematic treasure. Talladega Nights. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. 7:30, Talladega Nights. And then on Saturday night, 7:30, Shrek, which also is known as Ross Grimsley's autobiography. Shrek at 7:30. And don't forget our second happy hour, 5:30 to 8 on Friday night. So we have music, we have social distancing in the outfield with the squares, and you can hang out, have a cold RVA Rally Cap Ale, and enjoy yourself on Friday night. Then coming up on August the 6th, Remember the Titans, and we'll talk to Derek Sugarbabe Hobson about that. Remember the Titans at 7:30, and then Angels in the Outfield on August the 8th. So those are the next four movies. And also, I don't think they have any tickets left, but our friends at the Broadberry are putting on a drive-in concert in the Green Lot coming up on Friday night with Carbon Leaf. So go to the Broadberry website if you're interested in that. So a lot going on here at the Diamond. It might not be baseball, but we have a lot going on in the summer of 2020. Let's go back in time after this commercial message and welcome to Parney's Pitch Around, powered by Dominion Energy.
Stay safe, man. See you when you get back. Count on it.
Hey, big girl. Daddy's gotta go for a bit. I'll be back. I promise.
Good night, sweetie. Good night, Mom.
try without the hat?
At Dominion Energy, 1 in every 5 new hires is a veteran. We're grateful for the many sacrifices you make.
All righty, folks. Ooh, a little bit of reverberation in my head. I've been hearing voices in my head since COVID started. Now I'm really hearing them. All right, folks. I don't know. This might be the last episode of all time for Parney's Pitch Around. We'll see. Obviously, our guest is with us now, Ross Grimsley, but we're being joined by the lovely better half of Ross Grimsley, Bird Grimsley, who is in the background there. And we're going to get Grims on the show here for a second. Grims? Welcome to Parney's Pitch Around, Miss Bird. You're beautiful. It's great to see you. We miss you, sweetheart.
Oh man, we miss you, honey. You know, you're always in our thoughts, and you always are good to tell a great story. So anyway, we love you, and you guys go ahead and do what you're doing here.
All right.
I love him, and I said hi.
Okay, yeah, Tanya, the kids say hi too, Miss Birds.
Yeah.
So obviously, Ross Grimsley's having a Pepsi, because this segment is brought to you by our friends at Pepsi. I don't know what else is in there, folks, but I can guarantee you there's some Pepsi in there. So, Grims, we're going to have about 20 minutes together, which
gotcha, buddy.
we got to put a 10+ year relationship in 20 minutes, and I don't know how we're going to do that. But before we even do that,
we're gonna miss a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, it is probably good for both of our reputations.
Yes.
Let's go way back. You're a wonderful guy. You got a bunch of great stories. You grew up in Memphis, Tennessee.
Right.
Your dad pitched in the big leagues with the Chicago White Sox. He pitched a long time in the minor leagues as well. At what point, Ross, did you say, I might be able to do this? Was it early on in life? Was it in high school? When was it?
I always wanted to be a minor league player, because big league players were Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron. Those were the guys in the big leagues. I didn't put myself in that category, but my dad played 16 years in the minor leagues. So I want to be a minor league player, and as I went along, I got, I did real well in high school. And as a kid growing up, I was very, did very well. Obviously, my dad helped in being around professional baseball in the clubhouses, on the field, what have you. That had a big influence. But, then going, my first year I signed, my first year was 1969. I was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota with the Reds. The next year I was in AAA, and I went to spring training with the Big Red Machine. Now, I'm there with Tony Perez, Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, all these big name guys that I had baseball cards.
Hey, Grims, our producer Nick is a big Reds fan. He just about jumped out of his skin when he heard you say the Big Red Machine.
But it was 1970, 71, 72, 73 is when I was there. But going to spring training with these guys, and seeing them, I was in, it was amazing, because like I said, I collected baseball cards. I had all these guys' baseball cards. So I go to spring training. I'm doing batting practice to them. Obviously, I'm trying to impress them, and impress everybody else, and just letting it fly, because I could throw pretty hard back then. And then I had some luck in the exhibition games, and then as it went along, and I still have letters that my mom gave me before she passed about 10 years ago. She gave me letters that I had written to them about, I don't know if I can do this, Johnny Bench, Pete Rose, and then the next year, 72, Joe Morgan was there. I mean, it was amazing. But I would send letters to them going, I don't know if I can do this, and then I'd have a good, I'd do well. And I'm going, after a while, I did well, I guess enough times to go, I really think I can do this. And the thing that really put me over the hump was the last game of spring training. They flew me to Louisville to pitch against the Detroit Tigers the day before opening day. And I pitched a one-hitter for 8 innings. So I'm going, I think maybe I can do this, But it was, that was the start. But when I was a kid, I wanted to be a garbage man. So don't ask me why.
That explains a lot. As your friend, I will tell you that explains a lot. Grims, where were you when you got called up to the big leagues? And you know, people we have on this show, people we're friends with, that's such a momentous moment for someone to get their dream come true to go to the big leagues. Do you remember that moment? I'm sure you do. Where were you? And who gave you the news?
Al Battaglia, who was the trainer, called me. So, but anyway, I was in Indianapolis. I went from short season A ball to Indianapolis AAA, and
which, by the way, is amazing. That would never happen today.
No, it just. I mean, I was on a team with Don Gullett and Sioux Falls, Milt Wilcox, two guys that played in the big leagues, and I think there was not a lot of guys. The odds of going from A ball to the big leagues are very, very slim.
Yeah, hardly ever happens.
Four of us made it off that team, and and going there, but it was amazing. But I get to. I had a good year. In spring training, I thought I should have made the team. Sparky sent me down, and I'm going, you got to be
By the way,
kidding.
folks, that's Sparky Anderson,
Oh, yeah.
Hall of Fame manager. Sparky Anderson, Grim. Sparky Anderson.
I just said that. But yeah, I didn't think I should have got sent down. And so anyway,
Did you disagree with Sparky Anderson?
No, gosh, yes, several times. he didn't care for pitchers, for whatever reason. But anyway, they sent me down. I think it was May I got called up, and I went down. I was 6-0, being sent down, and I got called up. And I know the first game I pitched was against the Mets. I think the first hitter was Ron Hunt, and I didn't hit him. He hit me with a ground ball in the back. So, but anyway, that was the first time. And I thought at that time I thought I deserved to be in the big leagues. I pitched well enough. I pitched well enough in the AAA the next year. Actually, my first year in AAA, I was second in strikeouts, and the leader in strikeouts was Vida Blue in the American Association. So I really thought, oh yeah, I mean they had some horses back then in the American Association, but I pitched really well. I know I got called up in May, and it was just I didn't know where to go. I called the trainer who had called me. I go, where do I go? What do I do? And so anyway, he takes me to the ballpark, and I stayed in a little hole-in-the-wall hotel in Erlanger, Kentucky. The place called the President Motor Inn. So if that tells
Nick, you know where that is? Nick doesn't know where that is.
No,
Grims, they probably demolished it after you stayed there.
I'm pretty sure they did. Miss Bird stayed there too. When with me, but yeah, it was
Miss Bird making another appearance.
The President Motor Inn. That's all I had to say, and that perked her right up.
You don't want that, but I was a good girl back then. Shoot.
I told you, Nick, this show's going to be interesting. Hey, Grims, you played in the big leagues with the Cincinnati Reds, 1971, 1973, the Baltimore Orioles, 1974, 1977, and you see it behind your left shoulder, the Montreal Expos, 1978 and 1980, the Cleveland Indians, which I have. You gave this to me when you were our pitching coach. I have your baseball card blown up into. And I think you're picking your nose in your Cleveland Indians baseball card. And then back the O's in 82. So Reds, O's, Expos, Indians. What was your favorite team to play for and why?
Boy, that's
we ask the hard-hitting questions here on Parney's Pitch
I
Around.
know that's really tough. That puts me in a bind. but no, each team had something special about it. Obviously, we stayed here in Baltimore, so that was a big.
Right. Well, you're a legend in Baltimore. All kidding aside.
Oh yeah.
No, you are. You really are.
But I mean, going from Cincinnati, obviously playing for the two winningest teams in the '70s, the Reds and the Orioles, was a big thing.
Yeah. How did that happen?
Who knows? I don't know. But I went 37 games, I think, with the Reds, and I get traded to Baltimore. And
who'd they trade you for?
Merv Retman and a couple other Junior Kennedy and another catcher.
Three guys for one guy?
Yeah. Oh yeah, three guys.
You were 3 for 1, Grims. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You're like Von Hayes before Von Hayes was Von Hayes.
Maybe not. But yeah, that was going there and knowing that I'm going to Mike Cuellar, Jim Palmer,
Right.
Dave McNally, Brooksy, Belanger, Gritch. I mean, you can keep naming them. And then Earl, obviously. But I learned Mike Cuellar became a mentor that really helped me out. But I couldn't wait to get there. And, after winning 37 games, I'm wanting to get as much information and learn how to pitch. And that was a big thing coming here in Baltimore. So probably Baltimore, all the teams, was probably the thing that really helped me the most and really taught me more about what's going on pitching wise.
So if you and I are in a bar, which we've been on occasion, on the road or here in Richmond or at Parney's Pub, Nick, something's beeping right now. Am I hearing the voices in my head again, Nick? And we're in a bar together, and the trivia question's asked, name the last 20-game winner, the only 20-game winner, I think, for the Montreal Expos. Who is the answer to that question?
Well, there's two people, actually. I mean, only one in Montreal. That would be me. And the other guy was Gio Gonzalez, who went to D.C.
But that's not really the Montreal Expos.
Well, I guess it isn't, but it kind of is.
So this is a story that we can tell on the air. We got 5 minutes, so tell this story real quick, Grims, if you can. You are the only winner of 20 games in the Expos history. Came down to the last game in like a minute. Can you quickly tell the story? Because I think it tells a lot about your personality, about what happened that day when you came to the ballpark and you had 19 wins and you found out all the starters weren't in the lineup. Tell our fans what happened then and why.
I asked, well, most of the guys were playing, but Tony Perez wasn't going to play. So I said, Tony, come on, you got to play. Now, me and Tony played together in Cincinnati. He says, Gramps, I drank a bottle of scotch. I can't play today. I can't see. I said, come on, man, you got to be kidding me. Let's go. So anyway,
that's allegedly to all our viewers. We weren't there when Tony Perez did that. That's allegedly.
Yeah, he said added a few more adjectives to it. But anyway, he played. He went 5 for 5. And
you know why, Grims? Because he swung at the one in the middle.
Exactly. He picked out. Yeah, there was 3 of them. He picked the one in the middle. But yeah, that was. That just showed a lot of guys played, and they knew it was a big thing. And what was really neat is my mom and dad, my whole family was there, wife, kids, or kid, and all my in-laws. All my in-laws, they weren't there, but all my family was there, and that was really the last day of the season. You win 20 games, and that was really a special time.
Well, I always love that story. It is one of the few Ross Grimsley stories I can actually tell on a YouTube channel, but I always love that story because it did show me how much people love you, and you were so beloved all throughout baseball. 1978, you're an all-star. Do you have one all-star memory that you remember from being an all-star? Not many people in life can say they were a Major League all-star, Grims.
No, the game was in San Diego, and Mike Flanagan, who was a good friend of mine, made it for the Orioles. So he didn't play, I didn't play. So when the game was over, we met each other on the pitcher's mound and big hugs, and that was that, But that was a very special time, and to make I was in the club. I felt so out of place in the clubhouse with all these big name guys, and I'm going, what am I doing here?
But Grims, that's why we love you so much, because you're so seriously, you're so unassuming and so down to earth. I mean, really, I'm saying that from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
Couple minutes left. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I want to get to your coaching career. Why did you coach, number one? And then number two, talk about our time together, not just me, but all of us, 2010 through 14 here in Richmond. What was it like being the first pitching coach in the history of the Flying Squirrels?
It was amazing. I mean, Parney, you run a great team down there.
We're undefeated right now. This year.
Absolutely, I know. Geez, amazing.
Yeah, unbelievable.
But no, I mean, there was a lot of good times we had down there, and you guys do such a great job, not only with the ball team, but in the city there. You don't have a new stadium, do you? I know. Shut up, Grims.
You got jokes and everything tonight, Grims. That's great. Good thing you're drinking Pepsi.
Pepsi, yes, yeah. And what about the nut thing? You ever
the nut shield? So, folks, Grims came up with this great idea one night that foul balls would go into the stands, and he wanted to build a nut shield that you could put on your arm, and when the ball came, you could just clank it with the nut shield. Well, here's the problem, ladies and gents. If you clank it with Grimm's so-called nut shield, it'll hit somebody else, so it doesn't matter. Bad idea, Grimm's.
You guys you didn't work it out. Come on, it would have worked. Would have worked.
Well, we did have a great time, but why did you get into coaching after you were done?
Bill Plummer, a friend of mine with the Reds, backup catcher. He called me one time. I was out of ball. The last year I played. My last year was '82. He called and said, "You'd be interested in being a pitching coach at Double-A with me with the Mariners?" I said, "Yeah, I guess. I ain't nothing else to do." So that was the beginning of that, and it turned out to be
your chance to be an astronaut was out of the equation. So
really, that wasn't going to happen. But 31 years later, and it was a great time. I got to meet a lot of great people, and and being in Richmond was probably the best place. I spent a lot of time in Calgary. I think 8 years there. The AAA team with
Shreveport.
And 6 years there in Richmond, which was great. We were going to move down there to Richmond, and
well, I'll speak on behalf of Tanya and Lindsay and Sammy and Madison and my liver. That probably would have been a very bad thing for all of us.
Really?
So I'm just being honest. You know, I love you and I love Bird. Grimms, we got 2 minutes left. Let's play a little quick fire.
Oh God!
The toughest hitter you ever faced as a major league pitcher? Go.
Pick a team.
Just pick one guy.
Thurman Munson.
Thurman Munson. Great answer.
I can name somebody off every team. Go ahead.
How about your favorite city to visit as an opposing player?
Probably Chicago.
National League or American League?
National League.
Okay.
Wrigley Field was the all-time place. To walk through the tunnel and see the stadium and the green grass was just, and the smell. I can remember that, but that was probably the best.
Favorite manager to play for?
Weaver.
All right, we're going to finish the show, Nick. I know we got 1 minute left. I need you, PG-13 version, to tell the story of you and Earl Weaver on a cruise ship. Go.
Now, we were never on the cruise. When he died?
No. You got into an argument like 20-some years after.
Oh, you mean the fantasy camp?
Fantasy camp. That was not a cruise ship.
He took me out of a game my free agent year, and he took me out of a game. I had it was 1-0 in the fourth inning, and he takes me out of the game. So I rant and rave on the mound.
PG version.
I know. So I walk off the mound stomping. And I said, "You can't take me out." And he goes, "Oh yeah, I just called Sammy Stewart in." So anyway, I go off. He chases me in the clubhouse. So we're standing toe to toe, nose to nose. I had to bend over really low to get in his face. And long story short, we're yelling, screaming, hollering at each other, and I'm saying, "You're screwing me. You're doing. I'm not." And anyway, the next day it was like it never happened. So I played for him in the old senior league.
That's the key, folks. The next day it never happened. Earl Weaver never talked about it. Okay, go.
No, he was good. So I played in the senior league in 1989.
Which is how many years later?
That happened in 77. So probably 12 years later, I'm playing in the senior league, and he never drank with the players, But the senior league, he was drinking at a clubhouse, this bar in this hotel, and he says, "Gramps, come in here. Tell him the time I took you out of the game and you called me an MFer and you took the ball and you punched me in the stomach." I said, "Earl, I never did that." And he just went on and on. So I knew better to go in there. So anyway, we're at this place called the Boathouse in Tampa, where we were all staying. So we come in there, and Miss Bird says we had a couple of Mai Tais or something, rum runners. We had a couple of rum runners. She says, "Don't drink anymore." I said, "Okay." She's going up and change clothes. She comes back down. Well, I had 2 more. So we go in the Boathouse.
Typical
Who's
Grimms.
in there? Weaver. Weaver wants to tell the story. He starts going on. 12 years later, we're nose to nose in the Boathouse. All the fantasy campers are in there. We're screaming at each other, calling each other whatever. Blondie's on my back. His wife's on his back, who we're good friends with. Yeah. And still screaming. So the next morning or that evening we have a dinner at the end of the fantasy camp. So I'm sitting talking, me, Blondie, and Andy Etchebarren are sitting at a table, and in walks Earl and his wife. So Etchebarren gets up. I said, where are you going? He said, I'm leaving. I go, why? He said, Earl's looking for you. I go, why? Well, he's looking for you. So anyway, he sits down. He goes, I'm going to sit here and MF you just like you did me last night. So
the moral
anyway.
of the story is Earl Weaver held a grudge.
Now, but you know what? He thanked us all for helping him get in the Hall of Fame.
Yep. And you loved him, right, Grims?
He did some things. He did stuff for me that he didn't have to do. Which is amazing. I love him. He just was such a great person to play for. He knew how to pull your strings and what to do to get the best out of you. But he was fantastic.
Well, Grims, you're fantastic, and we love you. We miss you. We hope you get down to Richmond soon. Please give Miss Bird a kiss for us. Folks, that'll be the end. We're going to the next segment. Thank you, Ross Grimsley, for joining us on today's Parney's Pitch Around, presented this segment by Pepsi and the overall show powered by Dominion Energy. Grims, we'll see you down the road. Have
Thank
fun,
you, buddy.
go nuts.
Here's the Pepsi.
Cheers. We'll be right back, folks. Amazingly, we survived the first segment with Ross Grimsley. Thank you once again to our friends at Pepsi. I want to remind all of our fans out there, please send in questions to my main man, Anthony Opperman, who is across the studio behind his curtain, and he will be throwing some questions at me. So if you have any questions about what the Flying Squirrels are doing right now, if you have any questions about the state of baseball, if you have any questions about what we've been doing as a front office staff during COVID-19 or whatever it might be, just shoot in a question. If I don't know the answer, trust me, I'll make something up and it'll sound pretty good. So we're so happy to have had Ross Grimsley on segment number one, former Major League pitcher, former Flying Squirrels pitching coach. And he lived a charmed life. His dad was a Major League pitcher. Ross was a Major League pitcher. So a movie story kind of situation, right? Well, we're coming back to you in the second segment presented by SciComm with someone who literally lived a life that turned into a movie. And I don't know, in my 31-year career of minor league baseball, if I've ever had the opportunity to interview someone who actually lived that kind of life. So please join me in welcoming Derek Sugar Babe Hobson, number 11 for the T.C. Williams Titans. Remember the Titans, folks. Right now you're seeing Sugar Babe, and he was actually on the team, the movie. Let's go way back to the beginning. First of all, great to see you again. I know you and I were around each other one time at Virginia State, so it's great to see you. I missed you in the office, but I do have to admit something to you. I have not gotten nearly as much work done recently because you left that wonderful scrapbook in my office. And Derek, I've been spending so much time on this scrapbook. Talk to us about your love for football as a youngster, and then the early years of your football career at T.C. Williams.
Wow. First of all, I just want to say good evening to yourself and your staff.
Yeah.
And to Anthony, man, that guy's a workhorse. He really is.
He's behind the curtain right now, and he's wearing a mask. I want to point out that he's still wearing a mask.
Great. Mask up, 6 feet apart. Well, my love for football started Little League, back in Little League in the city of Alexandria. We had a Little League program that was sponsored by Parks and Recs. And the Kiwanis Club was one of the sponsors. So they kind of like sponsored the uniforms. Mm-hmm. And this is back when the city was segregated. So some of those kids, those white kids in the movie or that was on my team, I actually played against them as Little Leaguers. We couldn't be on the same team, but because we were in the same Little League program, we played against each other. So all my youth years was like competitive against these kids that later on became my teammates. But my love for football goes back. My uncle used to take me to the Redskins game, my RFK, Sonny Jurgensen, Billy Kimmer, Bobby Mitchell, Charlie Taylor, his rookie year.
I met Billy Kilmer in New Orleans one time, and I walked away, and Tanya was like, "Who's that guy?" And I'm like, "That's Billy Kilmer, Billy Kilmer."
Right.
But anyway, so are you still a Washington football team fan?
Kind of, sort of. I became a fan of the National Football League because you begin to pick individual players. Mm-hmm. And they don't stick around with one team before I get me a ring and I got to go. I got to move on or my contract expires. So, I just love the game where I just follow players or follow team. There's just one team that I do not like. I'm sorry to your fans, but I am not one of those Cowboy fans. Peace.
Well, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, one for the thumb.
So tell us a little bit about the actual, I went through your scrapbook like really closely, and it was amazing seeing some of the names as a fan of the movie, seeing some of the names. Who did you hang out with on the team? Was it anybody that was quote unquote featured in the movie? I know your brother played on the team, and maybe talk about that. Who were your friends, and what was it like having your brother on the team with you?
Well, first teammates were people like Blue. Blue's father was our Boy Scout leader growing up. Players like Julius. Julius' father worked in public housing where we lived. We had another kid that went to Duke, our starting safety named Earl Cook. He just retired as the city's first black chief of police. So we were all in the same public housing. And back then it was truly that village raised a family, because everybody looked after each other. My brother and I had always played sports together. He was maybe 2 years younger than myself. And he ended up going to the University of Richmond in '74 on a football scholarship. So playing with him as my tight end growing up, because growing up, I was always a quarterback. Mm-hmm. And that was my senior year. So, my senior year was like a changing of the school system. It's like, this is not what we asked for or signed up for, but this is what y'all giving us. And as young kids, we just wanted to make the football team. Out of 100 kids, I'm going to make the team, but I'm not going to get a chance to play. So those my concerns. But yeah.
Now in the scrapbook, it showed pictures from the movie premiere. Did you? And I couldn't remember now sitting here if you were there. I'm pretty sure you were there at the movie premiere. When you found out there was going to be a movie about your high school football team, what went through your mind?
I couldn't believe it because I got a phone call from the guy that actually wrote the script. Coach Boone gave him my number because we always kept in touch. And I asked the guy, like, why you making a movie of us? We were just one of many high school teams that won a state title. But because of the times, the city we were integrated, but the city still had this air of racial tension. Mm-hmm. Okay? Only 6 years removed from segregation. So therefore, this football team healed a city by our winnings. You know, we were just young kids. We just wanted to play football, you know. And once we saw what we had, and the parents bought into what we were selling them, which was being a team, being one, and what we could do, and the leaders that we had, Coach Yotes, Coach Boone, Coach Furman, Coach Hines, Coach Shaw, all these was coaches that was teachers at the time, PE teachers, biology teachers. So, you know, back then we were just planning to be one team, and we healed the city. We really did. We really healed the city.
Well, I love that that's what you say. One of the things I've said my entire 31-year baseball career, you know, after 9/11, after all the things, things we're going through right now, COVID-19, sports heals. So I'm so glad that you sports can be a real together, unification type situation. So I'm really glad that you say that. Going back to the movie, when you watched the movie, was there a specific point that you went, wow, I remember that was very touching, or was there too much Hollywood in it, frankly? The hard-hitting questions here, Sugar Babe, the hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, one thing I've learned from that movie was that the word based on a true story, we're not going to give you the whole truth and nothing but the truth, because it might not be as exciting to who we think we're trying to reach. So, you know, there was parts it was like, wow, okay, I didn't know that. You know, or, oh, that actually happened? So they couldn't put that in there. You know, where they threw a brick through Coach Boone's window, they actually threw a toilet.
A toilet?
Yes.
Wow.
So Disney couldn't put that in it, you know. And then, Parney, as I read the emails or read literature or folks send me information, there are those that have done their research about this movie. And maybe about a month ago, a guy sent me some info, and this one guy researched where he said there was 19 lies that Disney told about the Titans. There was lies told about Blind Side. And then you come to realize that's Hollywood.
Yeah, that's why I asked the question the way I asked it.
That's Hollywood. Yeah. And, you know, so I can pull out things and say, no, that's not true. No, that's not true. Yes, that happened. I can't beat the movie up.
Right.
I just tell people, sit back, enjoy the main theme of this movie, that it did things that we need in today's society.
1,000,000%.
It's realized that if you put all these hands, and it was 3 different high schools that were city rivals. I knew all the black kids and the white kids, because I went to TC for all 4 years. So I was there. But to meet more kids, and we realized what we had, couldn't nobody stop us.
Talk to us for a couple minutes about the relationship between Coach Boone and Coach Yost. That was a big part of the movie. Was that something that you felt? I know that you were on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, right? Both, or
correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you got both of that. What were they like? And I know they became great friends and they stayed in touch. for the rest of their lives. Talk to our viewers about that relationship, because I think that was an important part of the movie as well.
Well, that was one of those things that, again, we didn't see that. We didn't see what the movie showed us, because that wasn't our business. That was grown folks. I want to know one thing. I'm going to get to play. I want to play football.
I love you, man. That's great.
You know, and again, because you saw them every day, because they was PE teachers. So they was in the school. So you couldn't do the things that today folks can do, because teachers would tell on you. You skip class if you want to. But their relationship, from what I saw, was what it was. You know, you had a coach, Coach Yost, that had been in the city for all those years. I played against him from my freshman, sophomore, JV year, and then my senior years when they all came to be one. But he's a legend, you know. Francis C. Hammond, you know, located on the southwest part of the city, you know. So again, what we saw was what the movie gave us. Now, when the movie came out and what they did as a force, those two men, was amazing, because we got an opportunity to do a lot of things because of their friendship and their ability to go around and speak. So they sold the movie because that was the trueness. But they were two competitors, you know. Coach Boone was a winner before he got to TC.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he won. He had a championship team in North Carolina in 1966, E.J. Hayes High School, and they was ranked top in the nation. So when he passed, I got a chance to meet some of those guys that he coached back then.
Do you think, you know, again, not everybody, not hardly anybody gets to have a movie made? As I look through your scrapbook, and by the way, again, it's just an amazing, it's the best scrapbook I've ever seen in my entire life. So I'm uncertain who put that together for you, but whoever did, it's just beautiful. There's a lot of pictures of you guys at different reunions. Do you think the movie kept you all close together, or would you be close together anyway because you were so good and won the state title?
No, the movie. The movie opened our eyes up to what we really did and what we really had going on. Because again, to make a movie of a high school, that was a state title. Back then, you didn't have all the divisions that you had. So when the movie came out and it depicted, it was like, okay, you know, we did some things. You know, we was 13-0. We was 9 shutouts. We had 9 donuts.
9 shutouts.
9 donuts. I mean, we would. The state final, as you saw in that scrapbook, thanks to my sister who put that whole thing together.
Round of applause.
All right. So, you know, we shut Andrew Lewis out. The final score of that state game was 27-0. And at the end of the game, they had a -5 yards. You know, we were just, once we realized what we had, I don't care what level you went on, when you become undefeated and you the best of the best of the best, we was ranked 2nd in the nation, tied with a school in Texas, because a school in Georgia was #1. You could put us against anybody. We had 75 kids. And when we got off that bus, you knew we was there because you heard us.
That's great. So many questions. I could talk to you for 6 hours about this and about your life, but I do want you to be able to tell our viewers your post-high school career life, and especially what you're doing now, because you've had a very successful career and a very successful business here in the Richmond region. We got about, what, Nick, 3 minutes left or so? Tell us about what you did after high school and what you're doing now with your business.
All right. Well, after high school, I came to Richmond and attended Virginia Union University. You know, Gold Panthers. Yeah, they my boys. And back about 30-some years ago, I got into the trade of painting and installing wallpaper. And the bigger term would be wall covering. So I decided to do my own thing, and I've been a wallpaper installer in the city for over 30 years now. Banks, hotels, office buildings, homes, and I'm a cyclist. I love riding my bike, trying to stay healthy.
Well, you look great. You look great.
Thank you.
As we finish up here, is there anything from the movie and or your life that would be your elevator speech? I know you're talking about being undefeated and all that. Was there something from Coach Boone or Coach Yost that as you're building your business into a successful business, did you reach back into that and use it in your adult life? Because I just told someone today, if you're an athlete in high school or college, every single day of your adult life, you will use that discipline and that dedication, that determination. I assume that happened to you, and if so, give us an example of it.
Well, like you said, that determination, believing in self. Believing in self. I was taught by my mom that you are who you are because you was created just as anyone else. And once you find your niche, take it and run. And I tell people I was a winner when I came out my mom's womb. And I'm competitive to this day.
I can tell. I mean, I feel like you want to come through the screen right now. I like literally like let's go play right now. Put the suit on, Sugar Baby. Let's go. Well, folks, on August the 6th, we got rained out before, but on August the 6th, we're going to show Remember the Titans right here at the Diamond on our outfield video board. Dominion Energy, by the way, is on that outfield video board, and tonight's show is brought to you by Dominion Energy. And Derek Sugar Babe Hobson is going to be with us, and we're going to do a little bit of this before the movie. I'm really excited about it. We look forward to seeing you again, and thank you for being with us tonight.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for having me on, and everybody be masked up, 6 feet apart, and be safe. And
we will see you August the 6th, folks. Let's give a round of applause for Derek Sugar Babe Hobson, number 11 in the program, number 1 in your heart, everybody.
All right.
And thank you to SciComm for this segment. We're going to have a brief little break. Folks, if you have questions for me, this is your chance. Tauntaun, this is about your 20-minute warning. I am starving, and I hope that steak I saw in the fridge is going to be in the pandemic pan because the big man's got to eat. We'll be back right after this message. Sugar Babe, you're the best. We'll see you August 6th.
Thank you. Be peace.
Founded in 1996, SciComm is an award-winning IT systems integrator headquartered in Richmond with offices throughout Virginia. Their focus is on mid-Atlantic companies, healthcare organizations, educational institutions, and governments looking to improve their technology return on investment. SciComm is a trusted partner to deliver a range of IT solutions and services that keep companies connected. Named as one of the top workplaces in Richmond, SciComm is also the employer of choice for the best talent in the region and are committed to providing outstanding and memorable service.
All right, everybody, welcome back to what should be, could be, and probably never will be an award-winning show, Parney's Pitch Around powered by Dominion Energy. We have the Wonder Kid himself, Nick Elder, who, by the way, I've never seen Nick so excited as he was when Ross Grimsley started talking about the Big Red Machine. You see, Nick is a product of the Cincinnati, Ohio area, and he even likes the Bengals, which I don't even understand that. But great segment with Grims, and then just an amazing segment with Derek Sugarbabe Hobson from the T.C. Williams Titans. Remember the Titans, and he'll be here with us live in person on August the 6th. Another quick reminder, Talladega Nights coming up tomorrow night at 7:30 here. Make sure you pre-register for your tickets, pre-order your food at squirrelsbaseball.com, and also happy hour on Friday, 5:30 to 8. And Shrek is going to be at 7:30 on Saturday night. And then August 6th, remember the Titans, and August 8th, Angels in the outfield. Let's go to my main man, Anthony Opperman, one of my favorite people in the world. And I don't just say that because he hangs out with me on the porch at Tauntaun's on Sunday afternoons. Oppo, what we got, buddy?
Well, a reminder, if you are out there watching, definitely send us some questions for the big guy through our YouTube chat. But in the meantime, Big Guy, I've got some for you. And you mentioned some of the guests we had on the show. And you know, I think the first three shows were good, and I really enjoyed our guests then. But I mean, between Grims and Sugar Babe, I'm really partial to this show. I love what both of those guys said and the energy that they brought. But on the subject of Grims, do you remember the first time you met Ross Grimsley?
Well, I mean, the Grims memories, Oppo, are just so blurry. I got to be honest with you. Grims, as you can see, is a one-man party, and any time with Ross Grimsley is something. But I think I do. I think it was the day we announced the team name of the Richmond Flying Squirrels, and if I remember correctly, I was in a leotard from head to toe, and I was wearing a squirrel's mask, and I was wearing a magic squirrel's cape, and I did all the live TV interviews dressed in that outfit. Now, Oppo, thank goodness that was in 2009. I looked a little bit differently. If I wore a leotard now, it would not be a pretty thing.
Well, that outfit did inspire the first Parney Squirrels bobblehead back in 2011, so you're welcome for that. On the subject of Sugar Babe, Big Guy, you know, I know we have the Q&A coming up next Thursday on August 6th for our rescheduled Remember the Titans date, and we didn't want to let all of the questions and all the cats out of the bag, but the one question that you didn't ask Derek tonight that you're really looking forward to asking him next week.
I actually saved this question. I want to know about the relationship between Gary Bertier and then Julius. That was a featured relationship in the movie. I want to know if that was a part that was portrayed real or if that was Hollywooded. And I thought his answers were great about that because let's face it, if somebody did a movie about us or the Richmond Flying Squirrels, they would change a little bit of that. My mother would probably never speak to me again. By the way, today's my mom's birthday. Happy birthday to Judy Parnell, who is crossing the 77-year mark as we speak. Good job, Ops. But then the other question I would have, Nick is really fired up tonight too, our producer, Nick Elder. The other question that I would have is, remember the training camp? I want to know about the training camp because the training camp looks so intense. And the training camp is where he made everybody eat together, offense and defense. Didn't matter what color of your skin. I'm going to ask you about that on Thursday, August the 6th as well.
I'm with you. That actually was mine too, Big Guy. I was learning more about the training camp, who his roommate was, what their relationship was like, what it was really like. Because as he mentioned, you know, the schools were integrated before that year. That was one of the Hollywood aspects of the show. So it wasn't like it was the very first time that they were together. But I am curious to learn a little bit more about what that was really like. Speaking of Hollywood, Big Guy, you mentioned Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Your favorite scene from Talladega Nights. Go.
Oh, shut up, Grandpa. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
I mean, take your pick, right? I mean, there's so many good ones in that movie. It's tough to pick just one.
My baby Jesus has got a tuxedo T-shirt on, and he's listening to Leonard Skinner's Stairway to Heaven.
I mean, when he's running around the warning track on the invisible fire, I mean...
Help me, Tom Cruise! Help me, Tom Cruise!
Well, we probably should cut this one short because
Shake and bake.
Big Guy's going to recite the entire movie before we ever get to Thursday night. So,
Ricky Bobby, I came to defeat you.
All right, Big Guy. You know, I know you've been really busy, so I understand that the answer to this question may be a little bit difficult. But how many innings of Major League Baseball have you had a chance to watch since the season started?
Well, Sean Stifford, of ECU baseball coach, stopped by the office today, and he was in there with Marty Steele and general manager Ben Rothrock and myself. And Stiff is really into it. He's been watching a lot. People aren't going to believe this. Oppo, you're my office mate. Your office is right next to mine. Nick, you are too. You guys are probably the two people that can hear everything that goes on in my office more than anybody else, so I apologize for that. But we've been so busy. I work, I go home, Tanya and I eat together, which has been one of the benefits of COVID-19 is the family dinners that occur all across the country and the world, and we've enjoyed that greatly. And hopefully, Anthony, she's actually making it right now as we speak. And but Stiff was saying he's been watching a lot. I haven't really watched any, but I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully the whole Marlin thing is going to be okay, and the teams that played them aren't going to get infected. I know Nick's excited about the Cincinnati Reds. I'm just excited for sports. I'm just excited because I agree with what Sugar Babe says. Sports can be a unifying force, and sports can be a healer. But we need to have it, and it needs to be safe. And I just hope for Major League Baseball that they continue to do it, and it continues to be safe for the players, and they get through the season. Part of it's selfish, Anthony, because the sooner all those things happen, the sooner Major League Baseball and minor league baseball can get their deal done for next year and beyond, and we can get a schedule and we can start preparing for our 2021 season.
I'm right there with you, Big Guy, and I know that you're long overdue for dinner, and I know you're hungry.
Have I been talking about it?
You maybe mentioned it a time or two, so I'm going to cut the
I
question
could probably
short
miss
right
a meal, Anthony, to be honest, but I mean, you know.
Well, not tonight. This one's pretty important. You've earned this one today, Big Guy, with the extra work with Parney's pitch around, running the scoreboard, doing everything today. So, as always, enjoyed it. Great show, and can't wait to do it again in a couple of weeks.
All right, everybody, we'll start working on our guest list, Anthony and Nick and I, and we'll have it on our social media. Make sure you follow the Squirrels' social media for all the exciting news. We look forward to seeing you at Movies in the Outfield Thursday and Saturday. Look forward to seeing you at our happy hour, 5:30 to 8 on Friday. Everybody, be safe, be happy, be positive, have fun, go nuts. Have a good night.